Just getting my 308 ready for elk hunting in July. If you're wondering how in the hell I can hunt elk in July, I need to go back and talk about the Yotes, the Coyotes. That's right. Coyotes have opened the door for a ton of hunting in my life. And this is episode 2. I know it's been a fat minute since I've seen you last. 85 pounds less. About a year, I decided to stop worrying about videoing during my hunts, but I've been balls deep in the last year. We have a lot to catch up on. Let's get going! Boom!
All right, everybody, we're back. We're back in the saddle. I know I have some explaining to do. I want you to enjoy this beautiful scenery, a very typical area that coyotes roam, looking for little rodents to scarf up. But I have some explaining to do. First of all, for the new people, what the hell is going on? 6 years ago, when I first started doing my hunting, I thought it would be a great idea to video everything, and that morphed into this huge animal. It exploded when I was teaching and my students found the channel, and we had a bet, something stupid like, homework or whatever, that I could get 500 subs. I was probably at like 40. And so I started whoring myself out for shorts and doing all those stupid body by twofer and all that stuff. Back when I was over 300 pounds, it was pretty funny that you had this fat ass doing workouts on the beach. And I wouldn't say the channel blew up, but I got my 500 subs. Hey, anything for the win, baby. All right. So it was part a joke, part I wanted to videotape my journey. The reason why I've been ghosting you is because for the past year plus, I've been trying to get the final few animals, which is a bear and a elk. Okay, so haven't done it, but I have a lot to discuss, and I'm pubic hair away from getting those 2 animals. In fact, I'm in the process of actively prepping for those 2 hunts. So now going back to these videos. Okay, so coyotes actually mean a huge deal to me as far as where I've progressed in my hunting. It seems kind of strange that coyotes would be a big deal, but I need to take you back. Not all the way to the beginning with the Blue Creek boys, but I need to go back to the Tips Down boys. Okay, So the tips down, boys. What happened was it did not take me very long before I realized I need to move out of the minor leagues, and my uh, friend at the time and his sons were more into paying for pheasants to be legs tied and stuffed into bushes and putting a little ribbon on the bush and going to a pheasant farm. That was the extent of their hunting. And I wanted to get further into it and become a true hunter and get to the major leagues. And so I started seeking help. Well, if you are a Doug Life fan, you know the history behind these guys. So I'm not going to go through that in this video. But the bottom line is they started with ducks, and I wanted to learn how to move up the ladder to a predator. Okay, coyotes are predators. Okay, they kill things. So I thought, hey, if I can kill things that kill things, I'm the apex predator, right? So I'm like, I want to learn how to coyote hunt. So here we go through multiple videos, and the guys who I am now currently teaching will get a laugh out of this because I'm in the same spot they are now. So here I am, first learning. This was 5 years ago. I'm first learning how to do coyote hunting.
Okay, so Bryson's headed down this trail, and he's headed down this trail to set up the voice call. So it's a voice call of a distressed animal. It's gonna call in the coyote. We saw a lot of evidence of coyote action with coyote poop. All right, so here we go. Okay. So, if you don't want to okay. Let's see a little bit. Son of my ass. You want me to do the call?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are in Ferndale, Washington. There's beautiful Mountain Baker, the second biggest mountain in our state. And I have the fortunate opportunity to be here with the Hickok boys. We're talking about Dylan Dirty Sanchez and Bad to the Bone Booster Bryson. Let me show you what true hunters have in their backyard. Okay, whoops, let me zoom out. There we go. First of all, we have a ram. We have, what do we have here? What are you gonna do? Hey, do it again.
I really do owe a lot to those guys. You don't see James here, but he's as nice as Bryson. And Dylan was a little bit quieter, but cool dude as well. Those three guys were really my first teachers of what experienced hunters look like, and I need to touch bases with those guys. Maybe they'll see this video. I'll probably send it to them. Hopefully they're doing well. Anyway, I started doing things myself. It's like, here you go, let's go. You know, I've learned all I need is a few little things, and I'm gonna go trial and error. As you probably already realized by now, I could give a fuck about how long this video is or about kills or whatever. I'm trying to wrap up what I started. Okay. So basically, what I'm trying to say is the only person I can really appreciate this video and the length and the detail would be my sister. And numero uno, shout out to Sherry. Anyway, so I started just trial and error. And here are some examples.
Okay, so we have the place where we process the ducks. We have the place where we take our picture. And we toss the dead ones over here.
after we breast them out. Little feast for coyotes and crows and raccoons. Okay, so a little bit closer now. The planter box is the spot for the kill zone. Here's one motion detector, and here is a second. So my thinking is, because I'm new to coyote hunting, my thinking is if I bait this area and they're used to having the light pop on, then where we're hunting with the coyote call, it's not going to be a big deal. Because obviously when a light pops on in the pitch dark, that's an indicator something's going on. So we're gonna bait this heavily the night before, and they know this area has animals to feed on. And usually baiting animals is illegal, but coyotes, you can do basically whatever you want to them because they're a nuisance animal. So there we go. Kill zone. Let me show you the blind from this angle. Oh, there we go. There's our blind. Got to fix it up a little bit, throw a little grass. You don't have to be too much camouflage because it's going to be pitch dark, right? And we're going to be shining a light from that direction, so it doesn't really matter what we have. But I threw up a little camo anyway and got to straighten it up and get her ready to go. All right, signing out. You know what it's all about? It's all about that. Whoa, hello, rookie. Doug Life. Okay, here we go, baby. Here is the coyote blind. So let me show you what we got here. We got the King's Throne. Whoops, hello, here we go. We got the King's Throne. Of course, that's 2 first throne. We have enough spots for about 5 or 6 guys. And the kill zone is that right below, where'd it go? Hello, right there, right below that plant pot right there. Okay, so I have spotlight there and a spotlight right there. And let me walk up there and show you what I've done.
Okay, so in the background, you can hear Marcus and I arguing like normal about this hunt. We're both experts, even though we've never done it. Anyway, what happened was I did this method, which was calling in, baiting and calling in coyotes twice. And after 2 failures, I'm like, okay, back to the drawing board. Well, I was about ready to throw in the towel with this whole coyote hunting thing until something huge happened, which completely changed the trajectory of my hunting history. The next duck season, I'm sitting in the pond blind, okay? And I'm looking over the valley, and I'm seeing 10,000 ducks, not an exaggeration. 10,000 ducks flying around an area that everybody in the county would love to hunt. Well, they don't allow hunting because it's a privately owned 2,000-acre farm, part of a larger farming system. And for liability reasons, they don't let people hunt there. So I thought to myself, I'm going to get on that property. Okay? Just like I thought when I was first started coaching on the worst team in the league, how am I going to become a championship team? Fast forward 5 years, and we win state. Fast forward the next year, and I'm hunting coyotes on that property. Now, my hunting crew knows the story, and I'm not going to disclose it publicly. But let's just say what happens is coyotes go on this farm, and just like any other dog, they like to chew things. This farm has miles upon miles of tubing that help fertilizer and hydrate their plants. They don't have the large sprinkler systems you see in cornfield. So they have tubing, and the dogs chew and $10,000 to $15,000 damage a year. So I start the process of hunting coyotes on this land. However, I'm not proficient at it. So I thought, hey, maybe I should learn how to trap them. But there's one problem. I don't know anything about trapping coyotes. And then it dawned on me at the time, this is about 4 years ago, at the time there was a pledge in the mafia, and his name was Ethan Dobbs. And I go to Ethan, I'm like, hey, I know that you trap coyotes in the Dakotas where he grew up. Could you show me? And of course, in true Ethan fashion, sure, I'll show you every possible thing I know. And by the way, fast forward to today, he's the only person on this planet that I truly trust, and I have co-leased the land with him because he is a phenomenal dude, phenomenal hunter, and I'm truly lucky to have him as the main dude in the mafia. Anyway, here we go with Ethan teaching me how to trap coyotes. All right, we got Dobby here, who's the Yodi expert. Dobby, what do we got?
Got a little sifter so you don't get the chunks on top of the trap. You get the fine dirt.
Make it more realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, here we go. All right, so what we're doing is more of a natural, you see that big clump of dirt there? So we're looking for something that's more natural. So the more camouflage, the better. What Ethan is doing right now is he is getting the dirt to sprinkle over the trap at the very end. Again, your number one goal is to make it the most natural looking as possible. Coyotes are extremely skittish and millions of years of developing how to be sneaky ass little things. So you got to be smarter than the Yodi, and that's hard to do. The next step is you take your bait and you want to rub it around to get the scent everywhere. So I'm stepping on this chicken. It's just a chicken quarter because I wasn't smart enough to keep my duck carcasses. Would have been way smarter. So while Dobby's doing the hole for the bait, I'm just going to take this and walk it around and get the scent out. All right, so here we go. So. And then I'm going to rip off some pieces for the trap, which is about an inch or two around, and then the bait area. Hole for the bait. You want to have that way back in there, so we're going to stuff that in there and bury it. Okay, because these are like dogs. Put a little more in there. These are like dogs. They're gonna sniff around. Ooh, they got a worm there, Dobby said. Yeah. They're gonna sniff around for it, claw it, and hopefully put their foot right in the where the trap is. All right, so Dobby's going to put the stake on. We noticed that our stakes were a little bit too big for where the holder is, so we got a washer. And so he's going to take the stake. Hang on, let me go on this side. All right, here we go. You got to deal with my shadow because I'm trying to block the wind. So, takes the stake. Pounds it in deep. He's going past balls deep on that one. And then there's the trap. So he's going to dig around the perimeter to make sure it has plenty of room to put its paw or leg. Okay, and it's just basically like your basic, it's very similar to your basic rat trap. So he's going to use his feet to pull that apart, open it up. And he's going to pin it, just like a rat trap. Carefully come off of it. So far, Dobby's 3 for 3. I'm pretty impressed. This guy knows what he's doing. And so now is the process of that. He's going to just get some clumps, and what he's going to do, he's going to clump around the perimeter of the metal trap. So when the coyote puts his paw down, it doesn't sense the metal, because that's going to be that trigger, that's a red flag for them to say, what the heck was that? So he's going to he's going to smush the hard dirt around the perimeter of the trap, like he's doing now. Careful not to hit that trigger mechanism. I don't think it would cut your fingers off, but it wouldn't feel good.
Definitely wouldn't feel good.
Might be calling in to work today. Okay, then here is the beauty of the sieve. Is what he's doing is this is the secret here. He is doing the fine sand over the top And what is there a purpose, Dobby, besides just covering it to make it look real?
You just want it so it's not clogging up the trap.
Oh, there you go.
Or covering up the trigger mechanism and all that.
So those little rocks can get into the springs and prevent the trap from functioning properly. So there it is. He's going to do that. Make it. He's going to do that for a little bit to make it look good, and we'll come right back. Okay, here we go. We got GBG put in the trap cord onto the post. So if you notice, the stake that's right there was not holding the trap. One of the coyotes got loose. So we're doing a twofer. We're pounding the stake in, and then I got cable wires that we're looping around the post that we hammer in. And of course we got Big Kahuna that just put the trap up, and he's the reason why we gently shake that dirt over.
Here's Marcus and I with the first coyote that we trapped, and Marcus helped me out tremendously along with Peyton as far as checking the traps. One thing I forgot is I had to go on to the state website and do the test. It wasn't hard, but get a license in trapping. I had to petition the state that through the behalf of the farmer that these animals were doing damage to their crops. And as you can imagine, any state agency in Washington, it's the WDFW. In a lot of other states, it's the DNR, whatever. They're very picky and they're very selective. So you get a month at a time to be able to trap, and you have to resubmit the application each month. So because of that, because of having to legally check traps every 48 hours, it's a 2,000 square foot property, including mine is now 50, so over 2,000. And we did areas at a time. We put up 10 traps, and it worked. Just like the baiting and the calling, it wasn't something that was overly productive. So going back to the drawing board, and today I hunt a third method, which I'll describe here next. Okay, so the third method is to drive around the property, hop out of the truck, and shoot them, basically. The problem was during the day, had some success. They're more skittish during the day. It's obviously easier to see them, but they're more skittish, and it's a working farm. There's people working, and it's not too hard to stay away from the workers. However, it's much easier to hunt coyotes at night because it's the only animal that you can legally use flashlights to hypnotize, like deer in the headlights. All animals will freeze and wonder what the hell's going on, and it's easier to kill them. See, it's harder to find them, but easier to get them. And it brings me to my next thing. To be perfectly honest, full disclosure, I had a little bit of issue at first hunting coyotes because I'm not going to eat them. I'm not going to feed them to my dogs. And so therefore they just get tossed in the ditch. And I had a problem with that. So I started doing my due diligence. I called taxidermists, and it's not the 1700s. No one wants pelts. And to top it off, I hunt in the spring and the summer when there's no other seasons, animal seasons, because I don't spring turkey hunt anymore. So the pelts, just like if you have a dog, it sheds. The pelts are not high quality. So I wrestle with that for about half a second, because what it does is it opens the door, which you'll find out in my elk video. It opens the door for other hunting. And I'm not too worried about disclosing this publicly. It's one reason I haven't done the coyote videos, but I have spent 5 years developing a personal relationship with this company, who you can imagine, for liability reasons, like I explained, are very selective, including past 30 years. I'm the only person besides an employee to hunt the property. So needless to say, I cross my T's and dot my I's, and everything is highly respectful. I have to go on a monthly basis to chit chat with the general manager and yada, yada, yada. And I've developed this relationship, so I'm not worried about someone coming and taking it from underneath me. Anyway, It's been a grind. It's been a grind doing coyotes. It's just like any other animal. It's, I wouldn't call it large game, but it's not small game. And it's kind of like a turkey, I guess. We don't live in Texas and a cow farm where you can smoke with an AR on top of a hill. You can smoke 20 in a night with a group of guys. It's a grind. And it was exciting at first. I checked that box. Now I do it mainly because I'm doing a job for a farmer. I'm helping them out, and I get stuff in return. And I have learned it is, besides duck hunting, it is the most social activity I have. I hunt with my boys. We have a good time. We do barbecues before the hunt. We go out hunting at night. It's like I said, I'm not a huge fisherman, so it's the only thing to do in the spring and mainly summer. And yeah, I'm going to continue to do it indefinitely, and it's been a blast. I hope you appreciate it. I love you. What it's all about. It's all about that Doug life.
All right, here goes Aiden to finish it off. Get him, Aiden.